So, our today's topic of discussion will be pregnancy test. Now, all of you have known by this time already. So, there are two types of pregnancy, two techniques to be pregnant. One is normal technique, non-assisted technique, obviously assisted by the male partner and female partner, whatever, and non-assisting technique and assisted technique. So, what are the assisted techniques we have discussed? We discussed about intrauterine insemination. We discussed about IVFs and all these things. So all these assisted or non-assisted technique finally will lead to one consequence only, that should be the pregnancy. So pregnancy, whether it is present or not, you have to diagnose it definitely. So how you can do it? We can do it using some pregnancy test. Now, all of you people who were fans of 80s or 90s cinemas, you have seen possibly a female and male getting married. Then suddenly one day morning the female subject goes for some pickles and everybody becomes very, very happy and everybody starts to go for enjoyment. Male is congratulated because he is going to be a father. It's not like that, obviously. Okay, pregnancy does not work in that way. For a lot of people, there will be no changes. For a lot of people, there will be vomiting and all these things. There will be a lot of people who will not be able to feed food, not be able to eat anything. And that craving for pickle and all these things, they are very, very rare. I don't know why that's prototype, but whatever. So, how will you diagnose a pregnancy? Pregnancy, it has got, first you have to go for a history. What might be the history? What might be the history? Number one, first and foremost, number one, that should be amenorrhea. What does that mean? That means cessation of menstruation in regular period. Okay, say some female who is having a 28 days cycle or say having a 30 days cycle suddenly missed one cycle or two cycles, that is known as amenorrhea. So amenorrhea will be the primary complaint if the pregnancy is unplanned. Secondly, there might be morning sickness. So that means extreme nausea after leaving the bed. Morning time, extreme nausea, that is known as morning sickness. There might be massive mood swing and some other minor factors like tenderness of breast, there might be mild pain, that is known as implantation pain, pain in lower abdomen, etc. So most important complication should be amenorrhea. Amenorrhea always in case of a female of childbearing age with chance of pregnancy, amenorrhea should be always suspected to be a cause of pregnancy. Amenorrhea might be due to a lot of causes, like amenorrhea might be due to PCOS, polycystic ovarian disease, and a lot of things. But a female of childbearing age with unprotected sex history should be considered pregnant until and unless proved otherwise. So history taking is the first and foremost important. What else? You have to go for checking the beta chorionic gonadotropin, beta HCG measurement. So beta HCG measurement, it is done by two methods. Number one, using the urine, and number two, using the blood. Blood beta HCG estimation, it is more accurate, more important thing, but it is quite costly and it also takes some time. So urine beta HCG estimation, particularly using a rapid test card, pregnancy test, all of you have I think heard of that. That urine beta HCG estimation, it gives almost 99% specificity about the confirmation of the pregnancy. Now beta HCG level starts to rise after the implantation. When the beta HCG normal source is the placenta, so when the placenta starts to grow, that is after implantation, beta HCG level rapidly increases. So by 7 to 10 days post fertilization, this beta HCG level will start to increase and increase in such a way so that a rapid test kit can detect this level. If you do before that, before 7 to 10 days, you might not get a positive result. So that is why in case of amenorrhea, we usually suggest take a gap of 10-15 days more, then again repeatedly test. So how does that thing occurs? It is, it is a rapid test kit. You will get a card like thing like this, plastic card like thing. Okay, there will be a well here and one viewing panel here. One thing, there will be written test, another thing will be written result. Okay, so what we do, we usually put 2 to 3 drops of urine here. Usually all these kits, all these rapid test strips, they are provided with some dropper. You have to collect the fresh morning urine and you have to put that 2 to 3 drops of urine inside this testing kit well. Then finally you will see this reading area, it is getting moist. Gradually it is getting moist, and if the subject is pregnant, you will get 2 lines here, and if the subject is non-pregnant, you will get only 1 line. Okay, so test line will be positive in case of a non-pregnant person, and in case of pregnant person, both this test and result, both of these lines will be lit, both of these lines will be prominent. Now how does this thing occurs? I don't think it is very important for you, but you should know. So what happens in this test strip, they are given with 2 types of anti-beta HCG antibody. So one is mobile anti-beta HCG antibody. Okay, so one is mobile anti-beta HCG antibody. So what will they do? They are tagged with some kind of marker. They are tagged with some kind of marker. So when this mobile beta HCG, anti-beta HCG antibody, they are tagged with beta HCG. So if this is the beta HCG, if this is the beta HCG, and this is the marker, what they will do, after attachment, they will drag this thing towards the end of this test strip, and in these areas there is presence of another type of, this is the mobile, and there will be here in this test, in these areas there will be presence of non-mobile anti-beta HCG antibody. So here there will be non-mobile anti-beta HCG antibodies. So what will happen? By this dragging of this urine, this thing, they will finally reach here. So this beta HCG will attach here, along with that non-mobile, along with, this is the non-mobile thing, non-mobile anti-beta HCG antibody, and this mobile beta HCG antibody, along with this beta HCG, they will drag to this area, test area, and this reference area. So what will happen? Here there will be attachment of this whole thing. So there will be color generation if beta HCG present in the urine. So here what will happen? Here there will be attachment of this mobile anti-beta HCG antibody with the beta HCG, with this tagged color. Then finally they will drag with the urine and they will reach these areas where this non-mobile anti-beta HCG antibodies are attached. So beta HCG will attach to this non-mobile beta HCG antibodies. So along with that non-mobile beta HCG antibodies, this mobile beta HCG antibody with color tagging, they will remain here in this spot. So this spot will become lit. But if in this test area, this is the reference area where you will be seeing whether the card strip is working fine or not. So what will happen? These mobile antibodies, there you will be having some antibodies against these mobile antibodies. So what will happen in these areas? In these areas, what will happen? You will get some non-mobile antibody to anti-beta HCG. So this mobile anti-beta HCG, they will come here, they will attach here along with their color trackers. So in case of pregnancy, if beta HCG present in the urine, what will happen? In case of pregnancy, beta HCG is present in the urine, you will get two lines. Why? Because this mobile anti-beta HCG antibody along with its marker will come and attach with the non-mobile anti-beta HCG antibody. So this area will be lit, and also some non-attached anti-beta HCG antibody, they will traverse through it and it will finally present here in the second spot where there is presence of anti-beta HCG antibodies, and they will attach here and they will remain here, so that color marker will be prominent here. So two lines will appear in case of a pregnant person, but in case of a non-pregnant person, this attachment will not occur. So in case of non-pregnant person, this first line will not appear, but it will drag back and the second line will appear. So this is the basic mechanism and basic way how this urine pregnancy test kits works. Now the second phase about the blood beta HCG estimation. This blood beta HCG estimation, it has got number one, qualitative analysis, and number two, it has got quantitative analysis. So this qualitative analysis, that will give you just idea about whether beta HCG present or not, yes or no. So if the result is yes, you can almost certainly say yes, the pregnancy is there. And if the result is no, that no beta HCG is present in the urine, no beta HCG is present in the blood, so you can say non-pregnant. But quantitative analysis, it will give you the proper result. Most of the sensitive quantitative analyzers, they can detect about 1 milli international unit per liter of blood, a beta HCG level of 1 milli international unit per liter of blood, but usually we consider to be pregnant more than 5 milli international unit in blood. Okay, so if it is more than 5 milli international unit per unit, the person, that very female whose blood is getting tested, will be considered as pregnant. Now all these tests, history taking and this beta HCG estimation, all these tests, they are non-confirmatory of pregnancy. To do confirmation, you have to go for radiological examination. So what are the radiological examinations? You see, pregnancy, it is a very rapidly growing phase of a fetus. So initial days, there is high chance of teratogenicity if there is exposure of any kind of ionizing radiation. So in case of pregnancy, we never ever do any kind of ionizing radiation. So most commonly done practice is doing ultrasonography. Ultrasonography can be of two types, par vaginal ultrasonography and par abdominal ultrasonography. ultrasonography probes, they are usually do not use any kind of ionizing radiation, only the ultrasound waves, so that is not harmful to the baby. There are two kinds of probes, one is done parvaginally through the vagina and another is done parabdominally above the abdomen. Now parvaginal thing, it is always more sensitive. It can detect pregnancy at about 5 weeks of intrauterine life. Okay, but obviously for obvious reasons parvaginal is not very common, not very practiced because of privacy issues and all these things. So parabdominal ultrasonography, it can detect at about 6 weeks of intrauterine life. Again, cardiac activity, it is parvaginal ultrasonography can detect the cardiac activity of the fetus at about 6 to 7 weeks of intrauterine life, and cardiac activity in case of parabdominal pregnancy, it can detect at about 7 to 8 weeks of intrauterine life, depending upon the machine itself and the operator's experience. Now USG not only can detect a pregnancy, it can give you a lot of very important rules. What are they? Number one, place of pregnancy, whether the pregnancy is an intrauterine pregnancy or a pregnancy in somewhere else, like in the fallopian tube itself or in the abdomen or where it is. In ectopic pregnancy, it is usually a very serious issue and it can become a life-threatening complication. So USG can give you idea about the location of the gestational sac, location of the fetus. What else? It can give you idea about the viability of fetus. If the cardiac activity is normal, if the fetal anatomy is normal, you can have an idea, yes, the fetus is doing fine. What else? A USG can confirm the number of pregnancies. So a singleton pregnancy, it requires lesser nutrient than a multiton pregnancy and all these things. So most important radiological test to confirm the pregnancy is the ultrasonography. Now finally, so what are the pregnancy tests? For your purposes, most important is the history. Most important history is the amenorrhea. Secondly, what is there? There is pregnancy test, hormonal tests, blood for beta HCG, and urine for beta HCG. Urine for beta HCG is the most commonly used test because it is cheap and it can be done in the home itself. Blood beta HCG estimation, it is always superior than the urine beta HCG estimation, but okay, it can be avoided because none of these things will give you a confirmatory thing. Confirmatory test for pregnancy is the ultrasonography. Ultrasonography usually can be done parvaginally or parabdominally. Parvaginal ultrasonography though superior, but usually not done due to privacy and all these purposes. Parabdomen is the common, it can detect pregnancy as early as 6 week intrauterine life and cardiac activity by 7 to 8 weeks of intrauterine life. So these are the pregnancy tests done these days. Now there are some tests which are of historical importance. When we didn't have this beta HCG estimation, neither did we have this radiological things. So what were they? Some physical examination used to be done. So what was the physical examination? All these tests, they depend on one feature, that is whenever there is pregnancy, there is increased blood flow both in the uterus, in the cervix and in the vagina. Number one thing, and number two thing, due to the presence of progesterone, uterine muscle as well as cervix, they become softened. So there are multiple tests known as Palmer tests, Osiander test, Goodell test, and also Chadwick's test, and most of the tests just see the bluish discoloration of vaginal wall or softening of the uterus and all these things. If you can remember, you can remember it, because these tests, though they are of historical importance, but they are very favorite to the examiners of the multiple choice question PG tests. So in gynae you will obviously learn this thing. If you can remember few of names, you can remember. And another one test that is still now have some importance, that is known as Ballottman test. So what is that? If you put your examining finger in the posterior fornix, and if you put your non-dominant finger over the abdomen and you try to push the uterus upward, you can feel something moving inside. That the fetus, that baby, it is moving inside the uterus. That is known as the Ballottman test. And clinically we also do